Hi. Ugh. Water. Water is good. Okay. So, I'm back here on the moon doing stuff. And so, I think the last thing I went through was how sackbots could be worked in movies, I think. Yeah. So in this video here, I'm going to be showing one of various examples of how you can move sackbots. And the reason why I think this is important is because with the addition of animation tweakers in LBP3, you can't just move sackbots normally like you would your sack person. You have to move them in a specific way where it looks good. Either that or you have to be really accurate with your timing. So instead of doing it the complicated way, let's work it a more simplified way. So this is a set from Which Is Told, if you actually have ever watched Which Is Told. If not, go watch it, because I think it's good. Anyway, so this is going to be our example for today. I have preset cameras, and then there's a sackbot. There's the main character there. So, how do we move this sackbot where it actually looks good and there's no awkwardness or anything? The easiest way I find, and like I said, this is just my personal preference, make it to where you can't activate it through just standing next to the sackbot. And this is just a habit of mine. You don't have to color code it. That's just something I do. Alright, so we need an in and out mover. Now, just to kind of nitpick this, if you put it like this, it's gonna reset. So just place it first, then do the thing. So in the in and out mover, you can tweak the speed while pushing. That means if an object is in the way and it's dynamic, you can have the person push it. I haven't personally worked anything like this yet, but I might find something out in the future. The current weight, and then the input action, or basically the layer you want it to end in. Now, there's 16 layers, obviously. So to kind of give a quick summary as to how you know which layer that it's going to end in, to put shortly, the very front layer is obviously in the front, and then it's going to go back. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's how they're labeled. So, using that, what you want to do is, when you're trying to figure out what layer that your character is going to end in, you want to go 1, 2, 3. So we want her to be right in the middle of this sidewalk here. So she's going to end in layer 3. So we go to the in and out mover, and we put layer 3. And then we're going to make her just go at 2. And now we can apply a mover. And we're going to make her go the same speed. You want to put the acceleration at 100, and you want to put the deceleration at 0. Now, I'll explain why this is important. If you put the deceleration at 100, what's going to happen is when the sackbot gets to this ledge, she's just going to hover over it. When the deceleration is put at 0, that won't happen, and I'll show you how that happens. And that shows me I need to tweak my thing, so works for both of us. so she hovers over it, and we don't want that. So when we put it at 0, it doesn't do that. There we go. I think it should be... Now I'm just nitpicking. There we go. So that's done. So now we've got our movement sequence in place. Now let's talk about the appliance of animation tweakers. Now obviously, for something like this, you want to use animation tweakers because you can't get the Sackbot to do any like walking movement without them. So, where do you put them? Based on my last video that I explained, you'd think, oh, let's just put them on the sequencer here. And that is when I'm going to say, no, you are not going to do that. Instead, we are going to put them on the Sackbot. This, in my eyes, is a lot easier to manage. So we're going to find a walk style here. Yeah, it's in here somewhere. I like the walk slowly animation. There it is. I'm going to put this at 60. And then the blend time, I'll skip blend time for the sake of this because blend time is only important if you want like precise movements and such. And I'm not going to go for precision with this. I'm just going to get straight to the point. So you want to override the rotation, and she wants to go this way, so she's going to be like that. So when we start it up, looks like she's walking. If she's walking downhill, done. Now, how is this applied in movies? It's going to start with a battery. Now, normally, you'd want to add more animations than just having these two. So we're going to take what I explained in my last thing. We're going to go under the witch label. That's what the label is for the Sackbot down there. We're going to find her an animation. And this is a bit of a pain. In order for you to get into this view, you have to have the Sackbot on like a corner or someplace in order for this to activate. It's kind of weird, but yeah. So a lot of people like the miscellaneous. I try to avoid it as much as I can, but just some of the best animations are in here. Look around. That's what I'm looking for. So it's going to be 2.3. This is 2 seconds here. So this should be 2.10 or something like that. 2.15. Yeah, 2.15. So after that's done playing, we activate it through the battery. This isn't supposed to be that much. I default everything to 30 in terms of blend time. So if you want a good blend time, 30 is a good place to put it. Now this is the tricky part. It's timing everything together. You've got to put the time that it takes for this to activate and for the time that the animation ends. That's going to be the gap on the sequencer. So that's what this is. This is what it's going to look like. We count how many seconds this is. It looks like it's 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to be how many seconds are in between the time the battery activates to the time of the beginning of the next animation tweaker. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should be it. Maybe. Yeah, that should be it. Zoom out so I can see the Sackbot, and then look down. There we go. Alright. I'm going to make it to where she looks in the background. I'm going to put the blend time to about here. And then 270, so that way it looks like she's looking in the background. So, when we put this all together, it looks something like this. A little janky, but let me see here. After this, it's all just about trial and error. Just watching the same thing over and over again until it plays out exactly how you want it. So it actually looks like we activated this animation tweaker a bit too quickly. So it might actually, I might have been actually a second off. So let's see. She comes up. Yeah, I was a second off. And that's where blend time can come in. You could put this like 0.15 seconds earlier, and then put the blend time to 45 to make up for the time. And it should blend okay-ish. It looks okay, I guess. Like I said, a lot of it is just trial and error afterwards. And that's pretty much how every Sackbot works. So this is how every Sackbot would actually be programmed. Multiple movements means multiple sequencers. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just movement. You can put different animations on the same sequencer and then have them move in a completely different direction as well. Really, it all just depends on what you decide to do with this sequencer. You have the awesome amount of seconds that you're going to use for this sequencer, and then revert back to the primary sequencer. So it just really depends on what you decide to do in that amount of time that you have, whether if it's just 7 seconds to as long as maybe even 15 or 30 seconds. I don't know why you would want to make a sequence that long and then go back to the primary sequencer, but if you wanted to do that, then that would be up to you. But that's pretty much all there is to it. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. And really after that, it's just putting all of that together. So once you've got that figured out, just apply that with every Sackbot, and you should be okay. So I hope this helped in some shape or form. And as I've said before, this is just one of many ways. This just happens to be the way that I do it. You might find a way that works a little easier or better for you, and if that's the case, then go straight on ahead with that. My goal is to help people have a better understanding of how you can apply these things, and also showing you how it could work. So that's what I do with this. Anyway, I hope that helped, and I might make more videos like this. I'm not entirely sure, but if I do, then I do, and until then, I will see you later. No, I won't. That's a lie. Bye.